Hi, thanks for tuning in today to my new video. Please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and feel free to share it with anyone who you think might benefit from it. In today's video, I'm going to make the connection on how narcissistic abuse in childhood can lead to chronic pain or mystery illnesses. So if you've seen any of my previous videos in this channel, you might have heard the phrase tension myositis syndrome. This is a phrase that was coined by the late Dr. John Sarno, which essentially is a theory, but a true theory, because it worked for me, that chronic pain is the result of repressed emotions from your childhood. Now, if you think this is ridiculous, I want you to take a look at my previous videos and do some more research on Dr. Sarno and the whole concept of tension myositis syndrome. If you're an adult child of a narcissist and you're watching this video, I'm willing to bet that you might have some kind of chronic pain. Maybe you suffer from migraines, maybe you have sciatica, maybe you have a skin condition such as eczema. This is all part of tension myositis syndrome, and the point of this video is to explain how you repress your emotions in your childhood while being narcissistically abused, and why this translates into chronic pain or some sort of mystery illness that you've been checked out by your doctor, all your tests come back normal and they just don't know what it is, and you've seen specialist after specialist and they don't know what's wrong with you. It is so possible that it is because of the repressed emotions from your childhood. So please hear me out before just dismissing this as bullshit, because this is something I completely went through and I didn't make the connection for years. It took me a solid 5 years after making the first discovery that I was raised by a narcissist that any type of chronic symptoms would be because of narcissistic abuse. I didn't start experiencing any chronic pain symptoms until about a year after I discovered that I was raised by a narcissist, but by that point I was already suppressing all that, and I would have never made the connection until 2019, this year, that my chronic pain was related. Because this year was when I discovered tension myositis syndrome. And if you know anything about my story with my chronic pain, you know I suffered from TMJ for 4 years. Carpal tunnel syndrome for 2 years. I began developing ulcers because I couldn't take any more painkillers because that was supposedly, tearing up the lining in my stomach. And I had like tendonitis of both of my elbows, and my neck is slanted. It's still slanted because I haven't done anything to fix my neck. I do share my x-ray results on my previous videos here of my neck, so you can actually see that it is on a slant. And it is on my webinar on my website. So I will link that below so you can see more of my story and what I went through. When you're raised by a narcissist, you learn very early on that you need to repress your emotions. So if you do anything to upset your narcissistic parent, they're probably gonna yell at you. What upsets a narcissist to the point where they're gonna yell at their kid? Anything. Could literally be anything, because one day that thing could be okay and the next day that thing's not okay anymore and you're getting yelled at and nothing even makes any sense. So you start this pattern of walking on eggshells. Walking on eggshells causes you to try and be a perfectionist. Being a perfectionist is one of the personality traits of people who get tension myositis syndrome. And our personality traits are all developed in early childhood. Feel free to watch my video, The Personality Traits of People Who End Up with Chronic Pain and Tension Myositis Syndrome. I'll link it below. When I first learned about TMS and the whole mind-body connection with chronic pain, the personality traits were what really spoke to me about why this would be associated with narcissistic abuse, because a lot of these traits, such as perfectionism, overachiever, for me personally, was because I needed to overachieve to make my mother happy. I needed to be a perfectionist to my mother because I didn't know if I was going to get yelled at or punished in some way. I needed to be the perfect extension of my mother, like she wanted me to be, and make her proud. So this is where all these personality traits came from in me, and it's been one hell of a journey to figure out why I have these personality traits and how to stop being a perfectionist and stop being an overachiever and stop caring what other people think and stop being so anxious about every little thing. And of course, I still get little glimpses of these personality traits, but it has been easier and easier as time has gone on, as I have continued retraining my brain and reinforcing what I trained my brain with to continue to not have these things bother me. But it is constant work. It's not something that you just learn about TMS, you learn about chronic pain being connected to your childhood wounds, and then you're good to go. It's a lifestyle change. You're doing trauma work on a regular basis and it's not comfortable. However, the results of it are freaking amazing. I don't have chronic pain anymore. I also don't get bothered by things that used to bother me anymore. The peace of mind that I have gained from doing this trauma work has been amazing. I've also decided to change my life to coaching people because this is how much I believe in it. And I know how shitty it feels to be narcissistically abused as a child and the long-term effects that that has on adulthood, because, you know, it was almost 3 decades that I went through it. And I know how shitty it is to have chronic pain because obviously I went through it. I even had surgery on my hand for my carpal tunnel syndrome and it helped a bit. I had my grip back in my hand, but I still felt pain, so it just didn't make any sense. It wasn't until I really did the work that I really made the connection. And I was able to heal myself both physically and emotionally from being narcissistically abused. So if you were narcissistically abused as a child, I would highly, highly recommend that you look into this. I would highly recommend you work with a coach, because if you were raised by a narcissist, in my experience of doing the work, I know I re-traumatized myself because I was being a perfectionist about doing the work. So I did it way too fast and I did way too much, way too soon, and I definitely re-traumatized myself. And this is exactly why I decided to be a coach, because I know how you can re-traumatize yourself and I don't want people to re-traumatize themselves. And I went through it. So that's why I developed a 12-week program called Awaken the Badass, which is specifically for people who have chronic pain, who are either narcissistically or emotionally abused as children or grew up in toxic family dynamics. So I will link that below as well. I'm still accepting applications for it, so please feel free to sign up for it now. All the pricing details and what the program entails will be visible for you at the link when you click on it, so feel free to check that out there, and I hope to be a part of your healing journey. Thanks again for watching this video. Once again, please subscribe, like this video, and please share it with anyone who you think might benefit from watching it. See you next time. Bye.